You're about to see a model home that has great design work, like this accent wall up the stairwell. The plan for this home opens up so well where we're looking down on the living room and the kitchen. And then when we get upstairs, you're about to see one of the best media rooms that I've seen in a while. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Raj Sahu here, realtor in Central Texas, back with another model home walkthrough. Today we're going through the Monarch Plan with Gehan Homes. This plan is over 4,100 square feet when we include some of the structural upgrades that I'll show throughout this walkthrough. It has 5 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms, a 3-car garage, which we saw previously, except there was a 2-car side entrance that they're using as office space. So that would eventually be turned into a 2-car garage and then a separate 1 car on one side. And then I'm just going to go right out to what I think is one of the best parts of this home, and that is going to be the living room kitchen area here. I love how well this opens up. When you first walk in, you notice those tall curtains, this amazing light fixture, all the windows on the back wall, very tall ceilings as you can see here, and this is a massive living room. If you're one of those buyers that says, well, I love spending a ton of time in my kitchen and main living area, I love hosting, I love having so many people over and just congregate in this area, then I think this is going to be a good plan to go through. And we're going to show this shot multiple times because I love how well that stairwell opens up to the second story. I also think it is a bit unique where the stairwell goes up, there's a landing, and then it turns and goes back around to that game room and that media room, which we're going to get to later on in the video. First, let's start off in the kitchen with this waterfall island, and then take a look at these pendant lights. I've had some designers say when the pendant lights are this big, you should only do 2. Otherwise, the pendant lights become the focal point, are a little bit too loud. But I've also had some designers say it's loud, it's bright, and that's a good thing. If you like what you see, you should definitely do it. So it seems like people are 50-50 on it. Let me know what you think, and we'll have another angle of those lights in a second. That, of course, was your pantry area, and then lots of upgrades in this kitchen. They took that same countertop that had those great veins in it, extended it into the backsplash, and then they did this designer vent hood, which I think when you're doing dark cabinets, all the cabinets become your contrast that I think a lot of people are looking for in the kitchen. Also had some people just change the color of that vent hood alone so it stands out, and that becomes a little bit more of the focal point of the kitchen. As you can tell, there are so many things that you can do within your home. That's why I like walking these model homes. They tend to be upgraded well beyond what average homeowners do, but at least it gives you some inspiration of what you can do in your home if you decide to build from scratch. Moving on with the plan, we're going to take a look at this breakfast nook area. I like how they extended the cabinetry all the way down. It makes that kitchen feel so much bigger, but it doesn't cut into the space of the breakfast nook. If you can see, those cabinets are kind of cut in. They're really just used for aesthetic purposes. I think if you open up those cabinets, you have a very slender cabinet space, but maybe you can put some glassware there, or maybe like a vase or something like that. But again, it's mostly for aesthetics in my opinion. And then there's so many great views of this plan. When you walk in, you just get so much room in so many different areas. So I'm going to keep coming back to that area and panning around to really get a full perspective of that living room kitchen area. But before we get back into the home, I wanted to show you this outdoor patio area, which I think opens up well. I love the ceiling design that they did in here. And then right in front of us, there is a separate patio door that goes to the primary bedroom. And we will see that later on in the video. What I want to focus in on here is going to be the community we're in. This is called Oaks at San Gabriel. It's a community in West Georgetown, Texas. Very serene, very peaceful. At the end of this video, I'll actually share with you drone footage of lots that are available with this builder that back up to greenery and a river, and I'll talk a little bit more about the community as well. What I wanted to pivot to was going to be these planters here. When I saw them knocked over, I said, oh no, they're going to lose their soil. Turns out it's actually a fake plant, but that makes sense. It's a model home. There's a lot of people walking through. I actually thought though that was a very cool design element where it gives you some greenery on your patio. Also, if you like gardening, but you don't want it taking up space in your backyard, I thought that was a very cool design element. Moving on, we are back in the living room, and I'm going to spend some time in here because, as we mentioned before, a lot of people are the reason why these living rooms have become so open concept is builders are realizing a lot of homeowners spend time in this area, and so they want to make this area feel spacious, feel very open, and I think they definitely did it with this plan. So I'm just going to take a seat here and show you where I believe the TV would be for most homeowners. For this specific plan, you see some glass ahead of us. They're going to put glass shelves in there where that green backsplash is. I am touring this model home a few days before it's about to be finished, so we're going to see some parts of it still under construction. But I think for most homeowners, probably not even cabinetry is needed there. Would be nice to have, but even if it's not there, at least they have an area to put a big TV. And I like that it's inset inside the wall. So if you have a large TV here, that's going to be the front door. Behind me is the primary bedroom and bathroom, which we'll get to next. So obviously you have a bit of a walkway here that's needed, and sometimes TVs or even like a fireplace or something like that juts into the room, really cuts in on the living room space. And I like how this one is not cut in, it's actually the opposite, it's inset in the wall. Getting to the primary bedroom and bathroom, so many different design elements in here. They did an accent wall. They have great windows on the back wall. Looks like they were cleaning, so that's why those curtains are kicked up a little bit. But no worries, either way, you get great ceiling height in here. I even like the light fixture that they chose here. They went way over the top on all the light fixtures in here, and I love it. I think light fixtures are always something fun that you can do, even if you don't get great options with the builder. A lot of homeowners doing things aftermarket. You just want to make sure that there is blocking put in place for those lights. That blocking can hold chandeliers up to a certain weight. If you don't have that blocking put in place, it might be a little bit more difficult to put that in, because then they have to find rafters to attach blocking, and then you're talking about drywall damage, different things like that. And I told you that patio door when we were outside, that was that patio door that fed into this primary bedroom, so that was another look at that. And then I also love this primary bathroom. Everything opens up so well, and I think they did a great job again with design, where the cabinets are providing that dark contrast that I think is needed here with everything else being light and bright. And then they really went all in on this green color, which they put in the walk-in shower, which we'll see again here in a few seconds. And I'm sure there's another name for that color. It's definitely not green, and I can look it up. I have a homeowner who's putting that in some of their bathrooms in their home that's actually close to being completed, so I can look it up. If you really need to know, just comment below and I'll look it up and post it there. The plan, I think, opens up well here in the bathroom, where they have this freestanding tub. Doesn't really jut out too much. You still have a lot of space in here. And then I told you there were still some things under construction. Obviously, the frameless glass enclosure for this walk-in shower is missing. It's just open. They got to keep that water in there, but I'm sure that will come in here in the next week or two. But I love what they did here with that accent wall. There's so much movement in that green tile, and then putting it in a herringbone pattern, I think looks so good. Again, great accent wall when everything is light and bright. They even did the walk-in shower floor on the ceiling, which you saw there. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Maybe it's in another home that I just didn't notice, but here I definitely noticed. I've never seen that before. That was very cool. Really good design element. And this is going to be the primary closet. So there's some fixtures in here because, again, they were kind of changing some things in and out. We're actually going to see the rest of the first story here in a little bit, and the powder bathroom is probably the most under construction, but everything else is finished, especially on the second floor. But either way, I think you can get a really good feel of this walk-in closet. It's spacious. I like how they extended the tile from the bathroom into this area. A lot of people that go in here to change after, taking a shower, sometimes they don't like the feel of carpet on their feet after they get out of the shower, and that's where extending that tile is a great idea. What's funny is I actually had a couple clients ask me in the last week, can't you slip on that tile if it's in your closet and kind of everywhere? One thing to keep in mind is if you're looking at a polished tile, most builders will not allow you to put that on the floor for obvious reasons. You can slip and fall. The matte finish is going to have a lot more grip to it, and that's what I find a lot of builders only allow for that finish on the floor, nothing else. Now, this is going to be the commode. I like this design element they did here with that fake stone, fake plant on top of it. Just breaks up that wall, looks great. Then moving on here, we are going to cover the second bedroom downstairs. So I mentioned previously it's a 5-bedroom home. It has 2 bedrooms downstairs, 3 bedrooms upstairs, but the second bedroom down, which we're heading to next, is actually a structural upgrade option. What I find interesting is if you don't do the structural upgrade option that we're heading to next, they have what they call a home management area. Looks like just like a built-in desk, and then your laundry area next to it would just be much bigger, or what most people call now the utility room. Instead of doing that, they did this structural upgrade, which puts a bedroom with an in-suite full bathroom in here. And I think this makes a lot more sense. I don't know what a home management area is. Maybe I could speculate on what that is, but I don't think it says necessary. I think this is necessary. Even for people that are not in need of 2 bedrooms down, I do think it's becoming more and more popular. And for resale purposes, I think it's going to be necessary when you're around this square footage to have a couple bedrooms downstairs. Just because when you go to resale, we now have these homes reselling to what I call multi-generational buyers, where they're thinking about, you know, their parents who are elderly, where are they going to go, or where are they going to stay when they stay at the home. They don't want them going up and down the steps, so they need that second bedroom downstairs in addition to the owner's bedroom, or sorry, primary bedroom and bathroom. And why that's important is in the state of Texas, there is an expectation of what's needed in some of these houses. When you get to this square footage, people expect certain things. They expect an open kitchen. They expect a separate dining area. They expect a living room that opens up. And 2 bedrooms downstairs, I think, is getting up there as one of those expectations that's really needed in the home. Speaking of the dining room, we are going to head there in a little bit. This is going to be a butler's pantry area that's right next to the kitchen and the dining room, which is on the right side. But before we get to that dining room and the study that you see in the distance, I want to just cover this side while we're here. You have a coat closet, and then you have a mud bench next to it, because to the right of us would be a door that goes to a 2-car garage. Now, like I mentioned right in the beginning of the video, that 2-car garage was built out as an office space for the builder agents. That's through that glass door there. That would normally be the 2-car garage that's accessed from a side entrance. And then again, there was a separate 1-car garage on the opposite side of the home. And I think I will show you as well where that is accessible. This is going to be the utility room. The utility room space does get smaller if you do the second bedroom and full bathroom downstairs. If you don't do that, again, that area is much larger, and then there is a separate home management area that they have as well. This is going to be that dining room, and that door on the right side is going to be the front door. So right when you walk in the front door, you have that dining room, and it's connected in with the kitchen, as we saw earlier, with that butler's pantry right in between them. And what I like here about this dining room is when you first walk in that front door, instead of the dining room all along that right side, it goes back out to the front of the home. So instead of taking space in other areas like the living room or the kitchen, it's its own space back here. And then you still get this stairwell that opens up so well, which I think is so unique. You go up the steps, there's a landing, and it goes right back out. So you can do a really cool design element like that accent wall up that stairwell, which we will get into in a second, and then head upstairs. Before we get there, I want to show this study. I love the design work that they did here, where they did those dark cabinets again. They did a backsplash tile, and then they even have some lights that are facing that backsplash tile, perfect for some artwork that they have in there. I even like this longhorn desk ornament. I don't know what you would call it, but it's almost like looking out at the person that you're facing. So talk about trying to intimidate the person that you're meeting with. How about a longhorn skeleton that's kind of facing out to them? And I have to give quite a bit of credit for the designers on this one. They did really cool, fun design elements in this home. Even upstairs, you're going to see a couple pieces of wallpaper that I think are great, that I'll definitely touch on when we're up there. Now, before we get up there, I have to show storage space under the stairwell. So many of my buyers, especially buyers that are coming from like Seattle or California or cities in the northeast part of the United States, they always complain about storage. And I love showing them areas like this, where they always ask me, where can I put my luggage? Where can I, store things? I don't have any storage right now where I'm living in. That's why they're moving to Texas. They want more storage. Well, I love showing them areas like that. There's some great areas in some of these homes where you can get storage, but keep in mind some of that storage space, like your attic space, it can vary significantly based on the lot that you're building on. And I'll get back to that in a second. First, this is going to be access to your one-car garage, that door that we saw there. This is going to be the powder bathroom, which clearly is still under construction. And they're changing out the vanity lights in here. And that's going to look very cool, but I'm sure you can use your imagination on that for the powder bath. And then while we head upstairs, I want to come back to your attic space. So your HVAC is your heating and cooling system. It depends on where that is in your attic. That will dictate how much space you get. If it's kind of deep up there away from the ladder, well, then you're just going to get more walking space because the builder has to give you access to your HVAC unit because you have to change out the air conditioning filter. That HVAC unit placement can be determined lot by lot because it depends on where they draw utilities from. So I've even had I've had two clients buy the same plan and their HVAC unit was in a different spot in the home just because they were on two different lots. Either way, lots of different areas we can still get storage. And let's move on and talk about this game room. First off, I love the ceiling design because you could see this ceiling design from the living room. And I think different design elements you can do in your home to get people to draw their eyes up. Great for livability, makes the rooms feel so much bigger, and then also great for resale as well. It really provides that grandiose appeal that I think a lot of buyers are looking for when buying around this square footage. Now for this game room loft area, they decided to do a wet bar here on this side. I usually see this in media rooms, but I like that it's off here into the game room because it doesn't really cut into the space too much on this game room loft area, and you definitely don't want it cutting into your media room space because you want ample seating in there. So I think that was great. I love that accent wall that they did there. It really draws your eyes up that stairwell, and so many different things that you can do there. If you need a recommendation of some companies, let me know. I have one that does a stick-on panel that looks fantastic. It's very cost-effective. So many different things that you can do to make accent walls while you're in the home. And then this is going to be that media room that I referenced before. You have the TV off to the side with some cabinetry. I love this wall design. It says now showing. That goes all the way up along the ceiling. Such great design work in here. Even I'm looking at the website right now. They're currently offering an option to put a platform here. So the couch that I'm sitting on right next to this root beer would be elevated. So if you're concerned about seating and not getting a good view of your projector that's projecting on that screen, or maybe the TV like they're showing here, then you can have a platform so that it's seated higher up than the first row. Let me know what you think about this first row. I've seen media rooms where the first row is right on top of the TV, and I'm wondering why did they do that? I think this one actually works pretty well, where you have two very big couches in that media room, and I think it still fits well because of how big that media room is. And then while we get to the other bedrooms that are on this side, like there's a bedroom and a full bathroom here, one thing I'll mention is I'm also seeing online they are currently offering an option to put a balcony right off of that game room area. So if you saw previously where the windows were in the game room, which we'll come to again in about a minute when we walk back out there, there would be a door that would lead out to a balcony. And by the way, there are so many structural upgrades that I'm currently seeing as being offered in the Oaks at San Gabriel community. And when I say currently, I mean at the time this video is getting posted. Like even the one-car garage downstairs has an option to be turned into what they're calling a kids game room, which would just be pretty much livable space with some windows on there. And that would be huge. It would take up the whole space of that one-car garage, and that would give you an additional downstairs game room, which you could turn into a workout room. I've even had some people say, well, I don't want the media room upstairs, I want it downstairs. So I think you could do that and make it into a media room. You just have to plan ahead and make sure that you have some electrical upgrades to maybe help with speakers or a TV or a projector down there. lots of different things that you can do in these new built homes, and that's why I love touring them. The amount of compromise when buying is so much less. There's just a little bit of work that you have to do kind of planning for these things, but that amount of work becomes so much less when you're working with a high-level realtor that's worked with various builders who can walk you through all the different options and help in making these decisions. Now, before I get into that, I have to show this wallpaper that's in this room. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? I absolutely love this saying. In fact, I just kept pointing to this wall, which you'll see me do here a few times in this room because, I have an 18-month-old daughter, and I think that that's a great message to say, where life is not about fitting in, and why fit in when you were born to stand out. Very cool. I love what they did here again with the design work, but getting back to working with different builders, what I find a lot of buyers say is it's so confusing when looking at new construction because there's so many different plans, so many different builders in so many different communities, and sometimes it's difficult to make a decision on where to buy a home when everything's blending together and you can't keep track of what your top options are. And that's why for a lot of clients who hire me as a realtor, I build out a buyer board and I have all these videos where we can keep things organized. We can point out what we like or don't like. And this really helps when trying to make a decision on buying a home. And then it makes these small things, like you see this blue tape facing out to that mark that's on that vent hood. That's just a touch-up. There are a lot of touch-ups that will happen in that last week before you actually close on your home. And there's so many small things that come with building a new home, but it's all worth it when you move in here and you have very little compromise, like I was saying earlier, because you were designing this home based on your needs, your wants, and I think that is so important. Getting back to the plan, this is going to be a window that looks out to the front of the home. Again, a lot of this second floor is looking out to the front of the home. And then we have another bedroom on the right side here. I love how everything opens up. You walk out each of these bedrooms, the game room, loft area, you get all those windows on that back wall. And again, at the end of this video, you're about to see some great lots that back up to greenery and a river. So all those back windows would be looking out to that view. I told you earlier about the wallpaper. I thought this was so cool where that tree goes all the way up to the ceiling. They have a walk-in closet on this side. The door that we saw that had a clubhouse on it, that would just be attic space. They do need different attic spaces built into the home per code. So I took a peek back here, but it's really just insulation, and usually that door is locked, I would say, in most model homes, but most homes will have different cubby holes or doorways like that to be able to access the attic in different places. And then this has an in-suite full bathroom. This is going to be another structural upgrade. Normally there would be a Jack and Jill full bathroom between this bedroom and the bedroom that we just saw prior to this, but they do have an upgrade option to make them all in-suite full bathrooms, which makes this a 5.5 bathroom home. 3 full bathrooms here, 2.5 bathrooms downstairs. I love what you're seeing here. Again, that wallpaper, and then even the sign on the wall, "I am at home among the trees." That is a quote from J.R.R. Tolkien. If I recall correctly, Tolkien is the writer of the Lord of the Rings series. I'm going to quick Google that just to make sure that's correct. Sounds about right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so he's the writer of the Lord of the Rings series. I don't know why they have that in there, but either way, I think it's very cool. Keep Austin weird. That is the mantra around the Austin metro area, even in an area like this, West Georgetown. So I think that was a very cool touch that they have in there. Now, I told you that I would show you a plan similar to this that backs up to greenery and a river and has an amazing view. So all those back windows that you saw in this plan would be looking out to trees and a river. Well, here it is. We are again in the Oaks at San Gabriel Community in West Georgetown, Texas. There is some great lots that are in the back of the neighborhood in their final phase here in this community. And I showed you that home that backs up to greenery, but all of this area are just lots that back up to that same greenery, that same river. It even goes around the bend, where if you don't want to back up to a river, you can still back up to greenery around that bend, but they have some great greenbelt lots. And just in case you were wondering what was back here among the trees, here's that river. And again, that road goes all the way out to this side where you have even more greenbelt lots that back up to that same river. Now, if you like this walkthrough from Gehan, you want to see another one, click on the thumbnail that's appeared on your screen. And again, if you are looking at real estate, especially around the Austin metro area, reach out to me. I've worked with 17 different builders just in the last 2 years. Would be happy to help. Take care.